Okay, obviously, welcome back, guys, to 2025. I'm hoping it's recording, everything is okay. So, if everything is okay, you'll see the recording on YouTube as usual. And I'll post this as a private video only for you consumption. And so, what we will do today is basically analyzing what's going to happen next week. So I don't want to start teaching like I always do on other lessons where we start by teaching first and then we go to analysis. So just want to, pick up your brains and see how you guys have been catching up, what you think, what your perceptions are. I just want to see how you guys are doing. That's all. And then from there going forward, then we'll see um, what I'm going to teach because I want to see what's lacking, what we need to teach, where you are getting things wrong. So bear in mind, if you think this lesson is not going to be really fruitful for you, I'm not really going to be teaching, but we'll just do an analysis of Forex pairs at the moment. I know some of you do volatilities, which is very good. At the moment, I'm not trading volatilities, but I will. But for now, I'm just starting, so I'm going into currencies, getting my feet in there. I've already taken 3 positions so far. One was GBP CHF, and the other two were NZD USD. And I lost on NZD USD, and then I took it the second time, and everything was good. Now, that also on its own, it's to say it does happen in the market, guys. You're not gonna get everything correct. I don't know how many times I've said this before. You're not gonna get everything correct, so you need to know that sometimes you're gonna make losses. It's a matter of having more wins than your losses, and it's also a matter of um, taking care of your equity or your capital and making sure that even when you lose, it doesn't hurt your account. So we're gonna have charts around all that because I know it affects a lot of people. So this is where I took my trade from. Hopefully my pen is gonna start. All right, all right, all right, all right. Just a second. Okay. It does help me a lot. Okay, screen brush. Right, there we go. There we go. Right, there we go. Sorry about that. Now, so I took my trade from here and I took my target all the way up to, it was somewhere there, all the way up to those are the lows that I was targeting. And obviously the market went up after that, and this is where it is now. But in terms of GPP chef, that is exactly what I did. And on NZD USD, I took a buy somewhere around there. That is where I took a buy. And I took a hit with this drop right here and during news as well, where it took the low because my stop loss was sitting just below here. And the following day, I took the same trade almost on a similar position. And the good thing is it went up exactly as I expected. Still expected to go even further up, but I've already removed some of my positions. But all right, this is not important. So now, just to pick your brains, we want to analyze starting from the daily time frame. So I'm gonna give you maybe let's start from the most notorious pair that everybody knows, Euro USD. So we're gonna start analyzing from the D1 time frame. Why am I saying that? Remember, we always say every time, higher time frames are the ones that determine how much or how far we are gonna stay in a trade. Higher time frames are the ones that determine the direction of the market. So you can either analyze from the monthly time frame, from the weekly time frame, from the daily time frame, if you wanna see long term what's gonna happen. If you analyze from the 4 hour, you are more or less analyzing on what's going to happen weekly. If you analyze from the 1 hour, you're analyzing on what's going to happen on that particular day. So I always see issues amongst people when they analyze the market, and maybe someone is looking at something like this here, and they say, "Ah, no, Euro USD is supposed to be a sell," and the other person is saying, "No, no, no, Euro USD is actually a buy," and there tend to be a confusion, and it becomes very difficult. The reason being, you are analyzing from different time frames. So this year, what we want to do is we want to have a system whereby all of us are going to use a similar method of how we approach the market, including time frames, so that it will help us to speak from the same point of view, if that makes sense to you. Because I've seen that some of you will be saying, on 4 hour, I see this. Someone will say on 1 hour, I see this. Someone will say on D1, I see this. Someone will say on W1, I see this. And at the end of the day, whoever is asking is kind of confused because they have no idea what to do. But I'm gonna help you with that. So we're gonna focus on time frame. So for today, we wanna focus on the daily time frame, the 4 hour time frame, and the 1 hour time frame. So I want someone to analyze Euro USD for me, and I want a person who's gonna volunteer to do that. And then if everything is okay, you're agreeing with the person, just say, yes, I agree on the not on the charts page. If you are not, raise your hand, and then I'll give you a chance to also analyze as well, and then I'll give you my own analysis later. And remember, we're not gonna do all the pairs because there are just too many. So we're gonna focus on a few pairs. So we'll probably say two XXX USD and two USD XXX, and maybe one neutral pair, and then we close up for today. All right, so who wants to analyze Euro USD? So if you don't say, I'm just gonna choose for myself. All right, so who wants to take the floor? No worries, Ricky, you can go ahead. What time frame do you want? All right, okay, oh, that's good. Okay, W1. H4. Okay, H1. Mm-hmm. All right. If you guys are agreeing with him, please say on the chats page that yes, we agree with you, Ricky. If you are not, again, please let me know and then I give you the floor. All right. W1. All right, no worries. There we go. Mm-hmm. Uh, no, not at the moment. Maybe until you annotate. Yes, now I can see it. All right. Okay. There you go. All right. There you go. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Um, anyone with a different opinion of same? A lot of people are saying, I think we are all saying pretty much the same thing. Um, it's just different variations, all right, in expectations, but you're all saying the same thing. You're arriving at the same point at the end of the day. Now, like I always say, the information on the left hand side is very, very important. All right. So every candle that you see on the left hand side is so important, right? Now I can't spend much time on the weekly time frame because we're gonna be here forever. But like we said, we're gonna start from the D1. Now it is very clear looking at the left hand side from the last peak formation that was formed here. It is so clear that the market pushed all the way down to there, and I suspect that there's probably either 2 or 3 levels in this move from the top peak all the way up to the bottom peak. All right. The reason why I'm saying 2 or 3 is because there is a possibility that this could be your first level, this could be your second level, and there might be a third level here, or this is only one level. But the reason why I'm leaning towards it being 2 levels, yes, you can count from the D1 to confirm, but the reason why I'm leaning to 3 levels is because of how the market then decided to trade towards the 200 EMA and thereby forming a multi-days um, peak formation on the 200 EMA. That on its own showed us that the market is actually on a reset. All right. So now W1 is on a reset. So it being on a reset confirms that the market is selling. Now I want you to see something here. All right. So looking at this reset, we can clearly tell that we have an M, we have a W, and then we have what looks like an M, and then we started selling. I am very sure we all sold here. I remember this day perfectly in my memory. I'm very sure we all sold here. And remember when we were selling NZD, or the USD, etc., and we sold all the way up to there. All right, because we had not seen long term how far the market was going to go. I remember very well that. And I remember us losing buy options here because the market decided to sell on us. I remember that. Now, something that you need to then see is the market is clearly printing some lows here. So you can clearly see the market has been printing some lows in this area. Some of you may call this resistance or support or whatever, right? I call it lows. And it is not a coincidence that the 50 EMA is also sitting in that same level where your lows were actually hitting. It is also not a coincidence that the market broke those lows, went down, and then after going down, the market is deciding to come up. So that on its own shows that the market will come up, form an IT50 of the reset, and then go all the way down. That's a possibility, right? Remember, I always say leave your options open, okay? So that's a possibility the market might do that. Now, having said that, so it means the buy is valid until at a certain point. So the buy is valid until we get to those lows. Now, we don't know which low because, yes, they might look like they are all in the same area, but they are not that equal. You can see for yourself, but they are almost in the same level. So we gauge by the 50 EMA. So we want to see how they are going to reject on the 50 EMA and then go down. All right. So at the end of the day, we'll have what looks like an M and like that. So this part being represented by that part, all right, and then this part being represented by this part, whatever is going to happen here. All right. Now, this is W1. So we don't want to think too much because this is W1. Let's go to the lower time frames because we trade from lower time frames. So if we go to D1, I was hoping that you were going to show me levels, but some of you did, some of you didn't. Okay, so what is our previous peak? I remember last week I told you very clearly that USD pairs are going to be buying, and I even sent a picture of Euro USD when it was actually sitting there in that particular moment. It was actually sitting around here, and I said we have a W that is forming on Euro USD, and we expect it to break the neckline. All right, I said that. You can scroll up and see that. I can't show you now. And I said we expect it to break the neckline to confirm that this is a peak formation, and that is actually happening. All right. Now, looking at our levels, you clearly have level 1 there. Now, someone might ask, okay, how am I seeing these levels? Remember, when you are in higher time frames, all you're looking for is clear pushes, number 1. Number 2, a month, a month's drop is equivalent to 1 level on D1, all right? So it means here becomes our level 2. So that technically means this becomes our level 3. And then this becomes our new peak formation low. Okay, this becomes our peak formation high. So that is what you have at the moment. So you have your level 1, your level 2, your level 3. All right. Now, if I scroll backwards, you see that the market has always been printing these things, but we have not been paying attention. Okay, you can look at this right here, right, and say, okay, I'm seeing level 1 there, I'm seeing level 2 there, and I'm seeing level 3 there. All right. And then you've got a huge consolidation that happened. Now, this is one of the things that kill us, consolidations. Like you will start seeing consolidations and we are not sure of what to do. All right. Now, you try and go backwards. Remember, we marked these, I think on what do you call this? W1. All right. But if you want to mark it on D1 here, you can clearly see there is a level there. You can clearly see you've got another level there. You can clearly see you've got another level there. All right. So you've got your levels right inside this box right here. And I can confirm that on this box, you've got another level there, another level there, and lastly, another level there. Even on this box as well, I can confirm you've got a level, you've got another level. Maybe let me put them so you can see a level there, a consolidation, a level there, and another level there. All right. I can go further backwards, check them and see. All right. That's a level. That's a level. That's a level. So you can actually see you've got all your 3 levels, right? So you can go backwards, further backwards. Unfortunately, I can't scroll more than that. You can actually see, you can actually sit down and start marking all this to confirm that you hit levels until you arrive to your peak formation low, all right? But this shows that, yes, higher time frames, they do throw in 3 levels, but you just need to train your eyes to see them. Now, the fact that we've got 3 levels right here going down. So we have formed a peak formation, we have formed the first leg, and we have formed a second leg, and now we are going up. So remember, on W1, we're expecting the market to actually sell. So that means the market has to come and give us a reset and drop down. So it can form a reset at 200, it can form a reset at 800, all right? But it definitely needs to form a reset. It can even form a reset at 50 EMA, but for now it is past the 50 EMA, so which kind of defeats um, the option, unless if it doesn't break the neckline, right? All these are options, but remember we trade from lower time frames, so we need to keep going to the lower time frames. So let's see what H4 is saying. So you look at H4, then you realize a very nice peak formation sitting right below there. Very nice peak formation, a very nice one. I kind of like this peak formation, right? You can clearly see your first leg, your second leg. You can clearly see an M in between, a V in between. You can clearly see all that. Very nice peak formation, right? So all we needed to do was to buy this week, the week that we just finished. That's all you needed to do. This is the reason why I came with the NZD USD buy, and that's the reason why I always say, if you are not sure, ask me why I'm saying that. I'm not saying I'm an expert and I'll have all the answers of the market, but you need to ask why I'm saying we're gonna do this, even if you think that's not the case. Now, how did this peak formation unfold? Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. So the market came at this point here on the 1 hour time frame. What did it do? It actually threw three levels right there. All right. The market actually gave you three levels. But remember, when you go to the 4 hour time frame, those three levels that you saw there that I just drew, they actually amount to one level going up for the 4 hour. So they were actually forming the first leg. So they went all the way up to there and then came all the way down, right? They were just forming a 4 hour peak formation. And you can see they even threw short levels on their way down. This is more like a consolidation. I'll take it that way, but there was a gap here, and they opened the market at the low. All right. So some people might say that level is hidden. That still makes sense, but because it's a peak formation, you do expect that chopping and the market ranging in that same level. But you can see how they came exactly there. All right, exactly right there on the second leg. Okay, on the second leg, showing you the start of the market going up. Now, if you look at what then happened after that, you look at what then happened after that. So we'll say this is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So Monday started here on the double lines. So the previous week, you had what looked like a buy, and then the market came back down and closed right here. All right, so your buy started there, market went up, and then market came and stopped right there. Now that on its own triggered a lot of people into taking sell positions. All right, because what you'll be looking at on day one, if you're not sure, it won't be that visible. But yet on H1, the market is just still ranging. But then starting from here on Monday, remember the market maker cycle, and remember what the dealer does every single time. Number one, Monday, dealer starts the week, goes up, goes down, and ends the day in consolidation. Dealer starts the second day. So this is Monday, this is Tuesday. So the dealer starts the second day and he opens the market at yesterday's low. Where do highs and lows of the day happen? At yesterday's low. And that is exactly where you could have taken your setup. So after taking it on yesterday's low, then the dealer starts to buy until he finishes on Tuesday. So he has formed the low of the week, he has formed the low of the day, and the dealer is now starting to move up. And The following day, dealer more or less consolidates because it went down, went up, came back, and this is still more or less like the same range. He didn't really move because he didn't even take out the high of the previous day at close of market business. But the following day, he does go all the way up to there. So that means technically this becomes your level one, this becomes your level two, and then lastly this becomes your level three. So what I expect the dealer to do is to open the market, push up a little bit, form the high of the day, and then begin to go down where, form a reset, and then continue up. Now remember, resets can also form on the 50 EMA. So if the dealer is really keen to continue his buy, he might not even get there. He might decide to form on the 50 EMA and just continue with the straightaway trade. So that can also happen. So if he does show us the low of the week for this new week, then it means we can take the trade from that low of the week. But if he doesn't, we'll have to look for other USD pairs to see if they will show us the exact same thing. Now let's look at the 15 minutes time frame and see how all this transpired. All right, so looking at the 15 minutes time frame, to see where could we have entered if we really wanted to enter, right? Like I said, at low of day, but if you're not sure, right, there's no need for you to take a trade on this particular day. So that means on these 2 days, if you weren't sure, you were not going to take a trade. So you were going to take your trade on the next day, which is this day. That is where you're going to take a trade. Why? Because the dealer broke out of the Asian session, stop hunted low to the 200 EMA, close of 13 EMA. That is where you are going to take your buy setup and let the dealer go ahead with your buy. Or if you have missed this one for whatever reason, or you were scared of news, you were then going to take it on this day. Again, form of the Asian session, type 2 London pattern, maintain the low of the day, and then close of 13 EMA, you take your buy there. Or maybe your stop loss is sitting down there and the dealer takes it out with that spike. Then you re-enter again. As soon as your dealer takes you out, maybe your stop loss was too close, but I wouldn't put it that close. But I'm just saying, if it was too close, just below there, you would have been taken out, you would have re-entered from there and continued with your buy. So you had 2 days of you taking the setup. Then on the third day, which is a straightaway setup, we definitely do not trade this, so we're not going to take it. But for those who now understand the market, you know very well that if the dealer is showing you a straightaway trade, he will break the high of the Asian, come back and bounce on top of the high, and then continue going up. All right. That happens a lot in the market when the dealer wants to give you a straightaway trade. But if you are not sure of that, then you rather not do it, because he might do something similar to what he did on this day, where he pretended like he's bumping on top of the high, but instead decided to go down. All right. Does it make sense? Does it make sense, guys? So I'm trying to to crank myself here, and just to make sure that you guys understand what's going on. But this is how you kind of attack the market. All right. How are you? Oh. Everybody is fine. It's fine, wonderful, crying, but yeah, everything is okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So looking at gold, it's been buying for quite a long time now. So we obviously need to start at the um previous peak formation for us to try and understand what exactly has been happening. And by saying that, we probably need to start from here at the bottom and see how far we could have seen or predicted the buy. So let's go to 4 hour and see if the 4 hour has anything, because this peak formation is actually appearing from the 4 hour time frame. All right. So looking at this, the peak formation low is actually this one, and I'm gonna mark this here as one, and then this comes back. So this is two, this is three, reset, and then one, two, another three. So my assumption is that there's a possibility this was a reset area. All right. We'll confirm when we go to H1, and I suspect these were the levels. So in this case, this becomes 3, so this becomes 2. So I suspect this is what's going on. So yeah, something like that. That's what I suspect happened here. But let's quickly go to H1 and see if that is exactly what transpired. All right. So if we are to count our levels, oh, sorry about that. All right. So if we are to count our levels, obviously we start at the second leg, and I'll count this as my one level. Reason being, I'm just treating this neckline as the neckline for the entire W. So this is why I've marked this entire thing as one level. So if I'm not correct, we'll get back to that. All right. So now this being my high of the level, I'm suspecting that from here we were still in the same area. The only way where we got to break it, it's actually there, right? But if you look closely inside here, you realize there's this point where the market actually closed and closed above, which then will agree that this W is actually a reset on H1. But we haven't seen what's happening at the front, so I will mark this as my level 2, all right? Because we don't know what's happening in the future. So this being my 1, this being my 2, now I need to see my 3. So anything that will break that will become my 3. So from here going to there, I'll mark it as a 3, all right? So that means what follows next is, right? So I will mark this as my probably reset, and then say we've got 1, and that to me is a consolidation. We've got 2, and then let's see what happens. And most probably we've got a 3. Most probably we've got a 3. Let me mark together with consolidations. Let's see if that would make sense. Right. And obviously we are now going back up top there. So that means that becomes my 1, and that becomes my 2, and then this becomes my 3. And so now that we get to the third, what we expect is a reversal. But because this is a 4 hour peak, then the market will give you a second leg. I know after marking this, probably some of you will be like, I don't get what's happening, right? So if you come here, right, and follow gold from the D1 time frame, you will realize that gold on the D1 time frame has been on a buy, right? So gold being on a buy, that on its own should tell you that whatever will follow on gold is gonna be buy continuously, which is why you've got this continuous push and another second push on the next month. So that sell on its own at the top there is just a pullback. But the reason why the market is pulling back is because after the 4 hour has moved 3 levels, remember what's supposed to happen? We're supposed to form a peak and we're supposed to reverse. So in this instance, after having marked all this, you can clearly see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That on its own shows that I've got 3 4 hour levels. All right. So what's supposed to happen? We're supposed to form a peak and start to reverse. Now, the reason why you could not get the buy that you expected, it's because you saw the market that has been buying for a long time and you knew that this market has been on a buy, right? And you expected that it's supposed to continue having a momentum. But this type of setup is very dangerous. The reason being, if the market is just buying continuous, you will hardly know when it's going to turn around, because the resets that are going to happen on higher time frames, they will take time. Like for example, for this one to then turn around and continue the buy, it's going to take time. Remember the other USD pairs, we said they are buying, but gold decides to sell. It decides to sell because it has formed 3 levels on 4 hour, and it has actually thrown in first leg, second leg. So that is the reason why gold is sold. And there's a possibility that if it wants to reset on the 200, it can even sell a little bit more before it can decide to do what? To go up. So you need to be careful how you trade such kind of trades, because you do not know when they are going to turn. I'll give you another example before I ask you if you understand what I mean. I'll give you another example, right? Check this out. Check this out. If you look at this chart, this is USD CAD. See how USD CAD was buying all through here. I'm pretty sure all of you remember this time. How USD CAD was buying all through here, right? You look at the 4 hour time frame and see how the 4 hour time frame is like, right? Look at the 1 hour time frame. It's even worse. The 1 hour time frame is even worse. So you need to be selective when you are choosing what to trade. Now look at this. Imagine how you are supposed to count levels in a place like this. The market, it just kept on rising every single day. So for you to then predict that it's gonna sell here, it's gonna be very hard, because clearly you can't even see where it wanted to turn or where it wanted to go up. And it, after it had done that, it just continued its own thing continuously until it got to the top. So it becomes very hard for you to predict when the market will sell. This is the reason why you want scenarios where the market will go up, the market will go down. Like, for example, what you've just seen on Euro USD, where the market actually was showing you very clear moves to the upside, moves to the downside, to show you that the market is moving up. You want something like this where there are consolidations in between and the market going up. That is the kind of trades that you are looking for. All right. So gold is a continuous buy. Yes, it's sold because it's on 4 hour and it has moved um 3 levels on 4 hour. But I don't know if you are going to be able to see those levels because they are not so clear for you to see. They are not so clear. If only gold had moved, maybe say on 1 hour proper levels, and then decided to go to the 50 EMA and reset and then continue, I was going to say, yeah, that is very clear. But for me, even if you put it on D1 here, all you can see is just gold climbing up. That's all it was doing every single day. Gold made sure that any candle is going to be an upside. So so that is exactly what I mean when I say you have to be careful with this kind of setups. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, no worries. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No problem at all. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Cause I I can mark it myself and say, okay, oh, this is what's happening, but I don't know whether you are going to be able to see it. You get the sense? Like I can come here and say, all right, you've got your level three, you've got your consolidation. Because let me try and make this clear for you so you can understand, right? You've got your level three, you've got your consolidation, and you've got another probably drop of your level two there. You've got another consolidation right there, just to single them out so you can see them. And you've got another level three there, right? Sorry, level one. And this is the peak area where you've got a W and an M. Remember what I said initially? And then so we can crown that as our peak. Now, coming down here, you can call this your level three drop. You can call this a consolidation. You can call this a level three drop, sorry, level two drop. You can call this a consolidation. You can then come down here and call this a level one drop, and then call this your reset and call this a peak. And then coming here, looking down there, now look at that. Is that level three or that is level three? You get my point, because all these are both what rises, right? So it becomes a little bit tricky for you to know, okay, is this my level three or that my level three? Because they are all what? They are rising, right? This is the reason why when I marked for you, I marked them all as one level, right? As just one big um rise. You get the point. And I said, oh, this is because of the neckline of that W. And I even said to you, yes, if you want, you can come here and start saying, this is my level one, that little push there. It's up to you. And then you can come here and say, this is my level two. At the end of the day, you come to the same point. You can clearly see where that level two stops it. All right. And then you can say, this is my level three instead. And um, put everything else into that box and say this is my level three together with the consolidation. So there's so many ways you can do it. You can even use 15 minutes time frame to actually mark it. But all in all, what it simple means is your 4 hour had 3 levels of rise, and all it had to do was return. But because your 4 hour is the one that's on the um three levels. It means that's one level of D1. So your 4 hour is supposed to reset. So it formed a peak. It wasn't gonna turn with just this V. All it wanted was a small nice M there with a nice W in the middle and another nice small M there. And then she goes down. All right. So you can find maybe it can form a reset there and continue going up. Remember what I said, forming a reset on the 50 EMA, which is the 200 on H1. All right. Or it can come all the way down to the 800 EMA and form from there. So the reason why it's sold, it's because you had three levels on 4 hour, which is one level on D1. So technically, you need a peak on the 4 hour, which is the completed cycle, and then reverse. That is the whole reason why the market sold. All right. Mirai Nashe, you want to say something? All right. All right. DXY, there we go. Mm-hmm. Oh, you want me to explain? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Ah, okay. I wanted someone to say that, do you see how it looks exactly like EU, but it's only inverted? That's the purpose of DXY. DXY is EU flipped over, all right? That's all it is. Looking at that and that, it's the same thing, but it's only looking the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Correct. Yes. Now, now I would say yes and no. Yes, in the sense that okay, take a look at this. So DXY actually DX sorry? Okay. I am. I am, but I'm not using Zoom. All right. So DXY actually sold and gold also sold, right? But EU went up. Now, gold is a little bit tricky because it is not only it does not only comprises of currency pairs. That is why gold is a metal. There's a lot that influences gold other than just currencies. All right. But if you look at EU is directly influenced by DXY. So what that simple means is if DXY is selling, EU will buy, USD CHF will sell. So the other pairs will have to follow what EU and UC does. But gold will not always follow what EU does. I've heard this, people say it, and at the end of the day, they get bent um, because they want to treat gold as a currency pair. Gold is not a currency pair. Gold is a metal, and yes, it will do like EU, but it's definitely not like EU. You can actually see it even from the daily time frame. It's miles different from what EU is doing. You can tell that EU has been selling on the weekly time frame, but if you go on gold on the weekly time frame, you can tell it's been ever buying. So these two are clearly do not move in the same direction. So at some point, they will hold off EU and just keep pushing gold. Like right now, gold is hitting all-time highs, right? Since our president took office, it's been hitting all-time highs, and EU has been doing the opposite. So EU, you should treat gold with caution every time when you're analyzing it. So every time when we say XXX USD, gold, give it an exception. All right, give it an exception. It's not always going to do the opposite of what DXY is doing. DXY is a future pair that represents the currency pairs. If you look at uh, USD CHF, you'll find that what you are seeing on USD CHF is not 100% similar to what you are seeing on DXY, but the direction will always be the same. All right. So if DXY is selling, USD CHF is supposed to be selling. So you can actually tell even the pattern right here, it looks exactly the same with right here. All right. If you look at um, the peak formation there and up, and then that consolidation up and the small sell, you come to USDHF, you won't see the exact same thing, but you see something that looks a little bit similar. The reason why you can tell there's a peak formation there, you can tell there's been a consolidation, and then you can tell there's been a sell, but it will not always do the exact same thing. Reason is because the CHF is a little bit weaker compared to the USD. So it will always pull towards the USD. I don't know if this is making sense, guys. But because Euro USD is made up of Euro and USD, it all these two are major currencies. So it will take a lot of power for USD to actually influence the euro and vice versa. So that means at the end of the day, DXY will be a very perfect representative of what's happening on the euro USD. All right. Does that make sense? Yes. Yeah. I don't think you can open a position on DXY. I don't think so. I've never tried it, but I don't think it's possible. I think they're just there for you to see and analyze. Um, oh, you can. Ah, interesting. All right. Yeah, I've never attempted that myself, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, if you can trade DXY, I think that's really good. But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. It's as good as trading Euro USD. You still need to analyze it. The only good thing about DXY is the levels, they are going to be clearer. That's one thing I've seen. There are other futures like the NZD FLX, the USD FLX, Euro FLX, Pound FLX, and so forth. You can go to TradingView, you can actually find them. All those, there are futures for those particular pairs. Like you can analyze the OD FLX to be able to tell where OD USD is actually going to go, right? So that means they will show you clearer levels than the currency pairs. But that doesn't mean all you need to do is to look at DXY and then quickly go and enter on Euro USD. That's not the case. All right. You still need to sit down and look at Euro USD and think what is going to happen. All right. Is that making sense? All right. Let's look at a neutral pair. What's a neutral pair that you guys want us to look at? Anything that is not a USD pair before we close? Euro odd. Is it? Euro odd. Okay. I remember we talked about this one during the week where we spoke about this buy. All right. So who wants to give it a try, and what time frame do you want to start from? Sorry? Oh, okay. What time frame? Daily. Okay, it's good. We can hear you though. Yeah, we're on 1 hour now. All right. Is there anyone who thinks otherwise, or you're all in agreement? This reminds me of the USD JPY that I told someone it was gonna be a sell, and it clearly did sell. I remember when one of you were asking, and I said it was gonna go to the 50 EMA and start selling, and how the TDI was going to respond, and that's exactly what happened, right? But if you look at it, the diagram looks exactly the same as what is on EuroOdd. Now, coming back to your EuroOdd, where is it? Okay, there we go. Coming back to EuroOdd and starting from the weekly time frame, right? If you want to start from the weekly time frame, yes, you've got a peak formation low and you are going up. Reason being, you have done one, you have done two, and you've been consolidating. So obviously, we would expect you to go up, right? Now, if we zoom a little bit closer, what we are seeing happening here is that the market has a nice W, a nice W right here. And then the market has been playing around that area, which I suspect is the neckline, right? And the market might continue going up, right? This is as far as we can see. And from the monthly time frame, we still have the same peak formation at the bottom here, and the market has started the year with first candle right there and second candle right there. And what it has done is it's selling around the body of this candle. So it might get to 50% of it or 100% of it before it turns around. But that's a long story, and we don't know how far that will take. Now, what catches my eye is this, right? Remember, we said this looks like a W to us, right? And that looks like a neckline. And we said we are now around that neckline and we expect a buy. But if you look at this structure right here, it actually shows you that the market has formed what looks like an M countering that W. And we have come to the neckline there and formed an ID50 and left a pin bar there and sold. That then tells me what's gonna follow after that is definitely gonna be a selling pair. So it's definitely gonna be a selling candles, and how long they are going to go will depend on most probably the previous weeks, so which is most probably somewhere around there. If you look at the TDI, I'm sure it should show you the very same thing, a continuous sell, right? A continuous sell towards those lows right there. But keep in mind, we said on W1 we want a buy. Now, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame also shows us that big M, and it shows us how the market tried to reach the neckline of this M right here. All right, put the line there. There you go. So it does show you how it tried to reach the neckline of the M. But all this is happening after one cycle has been completed. Exactly what was happening on gold, where the market goes for 3 levels, but this is only 3 levels on H1, not H4, right? 3 levels, and then the market goes back and reverse. So this technically means it is a reset. You can clearly see it. It's at the 200 EMA. It's an IT50 on D1. So this is a reset. So if it was me, I would definitely the following day, the following week, wait for the market to form the high and sell it to the low before I consider my buy. I'll tell you why, right? Before I consider my buy. Now, looking at this, I think this is my first level. Why am I saying that? If I zoom in, you will see that my W is this one right here. So the neckline of that W is right there, all right? And the dealer did that. So that clearly shows me this is an IT50, all right? So this becomes my level 1. I suspect this is my level 2, and that is my level 3. And then on the very same day, the dealer reverses. Remember what I taught you on the video about resets? I remember drawing this and I said, this is one of the market maker cycles that you see whereby the dealer will reverse on the very same day without giving you a clear peak, just give you a V and start going downwards. And that is exactly what happened. So you take that as your first drop. And we suspect this might be a second drop. And I would really expect to see a third drop right here coming back down. Looking at our ADR over the corner here on your right hand corner, top corner, 3 ADR is 282. If I put this here, so 282. All right. 282. Oh, okay. 282. If I take this and put it on either on the second leg right there, you can clearly see how you almost hit your 3 ATR, right? And I expect to see the same thing coming back down as well, that we need to see the 3 ATR, which is to those lows right there. Now, why am I favoring a sell or not a buy? And I'm not saying that your buy is wrong, but the reason why I'm favoring a sell is this. We have seen countless times that when the market wants to form a buy and it's on a 50 EMA or whatever it is, it form what we call a morning star pattern, right? Morning star or evening star, whatever you want to call it. We say the market will form a candle, form a pin bar, and then form another candle, right? What it means is maybe something like that. Maybe something like that. All right. So the market would have bought here, or maybe let's say would have sold here. All right. And then on this week, would have bought and sold and consolidated. And then on this week, sell first and then buy. So that is what I suspect might happen here. Your third candle will come down, all right? Break the high. Remember the Kangaroo range theory. That is what I suspect will happen. Break the low, sorry. Okay, we'll go down, break the low, which is this candle, all right? Morning or evening pattern, whatever it is. And then continue going up. So I expect to see a candle like this one. All right, so I expect to see a candle like this one. Something like that. Something like that. Okay, let me try and find an example for you. Right, something like this. Yeah, something like that. Something like this. Okay, like that. That is what I am expecting to see. So, which is the reason why I'm favoring a sell. Now, it does not mean the buy won't happen. The fact that lower time frames are going to go a little bit lower does not take away the buy. The buy is still there. The market will still have to buy. Your analysis is 100% correct. The market has to buy. But if you come to the lower time frames, right, it does show that you are more likely on a reset and you have finished 3 levels of rise and you are probably gonna go another 3 levels of drop before you can consider going up. Now that sell beginning of the week will be the shadow of the candle that will start to then rise during the week. So that means it might probably form the low somewhere there or a little bit lower than that before it can continue going higher. Does it make sense? Yes. So that is how I would analyze it. And again, like I always say, keep your options open. It does not mean that your analysis is wrong. Your analysis is correct. That is how I am personally seeing it. And I'm saying keep your options open, keep my analysis open as well. You never know what will happen. All we can do is wait and see what the market is going to produce for us. Okay. Um, all right, guys. Yep. Thank you very much. It's already 11:30 here. It's late at night. Thank you for listening, and I'm hoping this is a start and it's going to help you guys going forward. And I'm looking to forward to meeting you all pretty much almost every weekend. And not only will we be analyzing our pairs, but we'll be learning stuff and all that. So I'm just hoping you guys are going to be present and every time. And if you are not, please make sure you watch these videos. And remember, the most important thing is to build your skill more than actually making money. Build your skill, understand these concepts, master them, and then you'll be good. All right. Yes. I see someone has their hand raised. I have to upload it today.